Dear listener, welcome to part 2 of my chat with Australia's most successful breakfast radio host of all time. Well, if you enjoyed part 1 of my chat with 3AW's Ross Stevenson, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy part 2 as well. Here, Ross opens up a little bit on some of his other dance partners, his co-hosts, over the 30 plus years he's done 3AW Breakfast. I ask him about the Rumour File, and was that his idea or did that come from someone else? And we share a laugh or two around a couple of jokes. That'll become clear throughout the episode. But first, I'm going to start with what I think is his most unique quality. And it's what I think he does every time I listen to the radio, is he plants something in my brain that I can remember. Let's pick it up. On memory encoding, as you're doing with your son, because I think that's your great skill. If I was to someone to say to me, what does Ross do better than anyone? You have an ability to plant things in my mind that I can recall from decades earlier. Like, I think I know what your favourite joke is.
Yeah, which one is it?
The punchline is, I'll say it in an Irish accent, I'll be half hour late. Is that one of your favourites?
It's one of my favourites. The Irish golfer who sometimes plays left-handed and sometimes plays right-handed.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll drop that at the end of this episode so people can hear the joke, not just the punchline.
Yeah, there's another one. There was a favourite of my father's who used to, well, you can't tell it anymore, but it involves kamikaze pilots in the Second World War who receive a speech from their commander telling them what they'll be doing that day when they find the US Sixth Fleet.
Right.
And he concludes his address to the kamikaze pilots by saying, "Are there any questions?" And one little fella at the front steps forward and says, "Are there any questions?" He used to take 20 minutes to tell that story.
Beautiful.
Right, what else do you remember?
Well, I remember that there's a term for the guy that sings the Ream shower commercials, and he laughs during the singing of that. One of the things that you do for
the laugh, you mean the fake laugh?
Yeah, when he goes install
on
the
stage they call it corpsing.
Yeah, I think it's something like that, where he basically goes for the hottest of hot, and he laughs during it.
Yeah, and there's Rob Sinclair, E&S Trading.
Yeah.
And we won't be beaten on price.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting to me that you can plant these things in my mind as a listener, because news stories come and go, jokes come and go. But the reality is, I think what you're building and what you've built over a long period of time is the ability to help me remember you. Are you conscious of that?
No, just
not at all?
open microphone and blabber on.
So that's not a technique you've learnt, it's just you?
No, utterly no.
No, okay. I want to talk about a couple of other dance partners in different realms, and the reason I put them together is because they're both dearly missed. Dean Banks.
Yeah, Dean.
Who you started 3AW with.
Yeah.
Did you inherit the breakfast show as a format, or did you, because I think you inherited the Rumour File, or it was a version of the Rumour File?
No, I invented the Rumour File.
You put the Rumour File in?
I invented the Rumour File, yeah. I used to drink at the Standard Hotel in Fitzroy, in the front bar there, and I noticed that people would come in after work, no matter what they did for a living, and they would say, "Have you heard that, did you know that," and I thought that's all people talk about, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the fact that people sort of gossip and talk is not new, but I thought, why don't we invent something, why don't we do that on the radio? It must have been such a long time ago. It must have been difficult to start because you got no...
Yeah, you're starting from scratch.
Starting from scratch, but I don't know. God bless it. Years later, it works. Yeah, no. I invented the Rumour File.
So the format that we hear today in 2026, how much of that is you and Dean from 1995?
I'd say a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it, because it's essentially, what is it? Well, I reckon we probably did what the papers say out of 6. We did the Rumour File. We would have done...
Grouse
not Grouse and Shouse. I think Grouse and Shouse came from a mate of mine's son, right? And the rest of it's just interviews and, open the microphone at 5:30 and crap on. Yeah, it really has not changed much over the years at all.
Because I think you can, we talk about people setting their clock to where I'm on the Monash at this time. I should be up to the Rumour File by this point. But yours is the show that I think It's almost like it's so a great combination of puzzle pieces that you do notice when there's one missing. You do notice when you didn't have time for a certain segment, or you do know when you're kind of pushing through, which rarely doesn't happen. You do know when you're away, and I can't remember you having a sick day. Have you had a sick day?
Yeah, I would have at one stage. Oh, did I? Yeah. Well, I had COVID.
Yep.
But I had COVID. You obviously have to be off work longer, but I had COVID twice, and for both times for about 24 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the memory is so linked to Melbourne people, and I think that's why I think I've said to you that this show doesn't work in another market because it is so woven into the fabric of Melbourne.
Yeah. No, I couldn't imagine it working anywhere else.
Yeah. So you've had Dean, you've had John, and now you've got Russell. What's longevity look like to you from here? Are you hanging around for a long time?
I don't know, a few more years, I would think.
Tom Malone says it's a few more years when I asked him.
Oh, does he? Right.
Is that good news for you? You probably knew that already.
Yeah, no, we haven't had a chat, but I have a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old. Sadly, the 10-year-old's too old now to use this joke, but I used to say, for example, when they were 3 and 7, whatever they were, I used to say, I fully expected to have a 3-year-old at this stage of my life. I just thought it'd be a racehorse. But she's 10's a bit older. You know, the magistrate, I think, won a Perth Cup age 10. But I got young children, and I'd like to be employed.
Yep, sounds good. I've left, I'll say the best till last. Can you believe it's been nearly 10 years since we lost John Clarke?
Yeah, is it 10 years, is it?
Next year.
His parents both died in their 90s. I just assumed John would live forever.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he died age 68.
Yeah.
I remember I was down the bush when I got the news, and it was deeply, deeply shocking.
What was your reaction when you got that call?
I just couldn't believe it.
As in, didn't make sense?
It didn't make sense, no. I just had just programmed it in that he too would live into his 90s. He said to me at one stage when people asked him, what are you doing? He said, I'm raising delinquent parents. So many... since he died, I find myself mentioning him so often, not to mention him, but it's something he said to me. And I realise how much he said to me.
Yeah.
That was funny
Yeah.
or clever or meaningful. And now he's got 2 daughters, Lauren and Lucy, and Lauren is a listener, and I'm absolutely thrilled to get a text from Lauren from time to time.
And she's doing a great job keeping his legacy alive, isn't she?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And she speaks like him.
Right, okay.
So to speak to Lauren is to hear that meter and content that her father was able to bring to things. Yeah. Yeah.
Last question. I wrote to you in 2015.
Oh, God. Did I write back?
You did.
Oh,
you wrote a love letter back. My suggestion to you at the time was, if I could be so bold, is that it's time for you to write another satire.
Oh, yeah.
And you actually said in your response, I'm actually noodling on something at the moment.
Oh, what did I say what it was?
No, you didn't.
Right, okay.
I wish I could remind you, but that's been a decade now.
Yeah.
You wrote The Games with John.
I wrote 2 plays with John. I wrote a Royal Commission into Victoria, a Royal Commission into the Australian economy, and The Games. And I would say, and there's nothing worse than false modesty, it's very easy to do it when you are writing with the greatest satirist in the English language, in the world, which he was.
Do you feel like you could write something else without him?
No, I'm not good enough. Right? He was, when we wrote The Games, the way we wrote is that I would write an episode and send it to him, email it to him. Let's start the other way. He would write an episode, email it to me, I'd have a look at it, have a tinker and send it back to him. I would write an episode, send it to him. He would have a tinker and send it back to me, and I would go, oh, my God. He has turned a Barina into a Lamborghini. He was just so good.
Yeah.
He's best in the world by a mile.
Yeah.
But the only other person who, during his lifetime, would have been on an equivalent footing with John would be Peter Cook.
Yep.
And John was a
tremendous
admirer. Tremendous admirer of Peter Cook's. They played golf one day at Yarra Bend, Peter Cook and John Clarke.
Really?
they got there and Peter Cook started laughing uproariously. And John said, what are you laughing at? And Peter Cook pointed to the sign that said, "Gentlemen shall keep their shirts on at all times." He thought the prospect that someone could play golf without wearing a shirt was one of the funniest things. And John said to Peter Cook at one stage, "How's your short game?" And Peter Cook said, "My short game is amongst the shortest in the world." He was another lovely man, Peter Cook. I met him. They were both kind people. John and Peter were both kind.
Yeah.
And charming people.
You miss John every day?
Oh, every day is a bit much, but he... I didn't keep enough of the emails that he sent to me. I really should have just kept them in a file.
Yeah.
He wrote one about seeing a promo for a program on Channel 9, and I kept it. And it was about the fact that the program was making an assumption about who these two presenters were. One of whom is a friend of Tim's. So there you go.
Okay, full circle.
Yeah.
Ross, thanks for spending a bit of time
worries.
with me. I appreciate it. You would never say this, but I'm going to say it just to have it on the record.
Yeah.
You are, to use a racing parlance, by the length of the straight, you are Australia's most successful breakfast radio person of all time. You've got longevity, return on investment for the business you work for, the owners that you've had over the journey, the consistency that you've delivered, the ability for new co-hosts to seamlessly interchange with other ones, and the show continues. And I know you're a humble person, but I think the extraordinary legacy of your work is seen in many, many broadcasters who you may never meet, who people listen to the show, or just listeners like me who have a much better day because they turn you on at 5:30.
Very kind of you to say.
Thanks, Ross.
See ya.
Well, I hope you don't mind me fanboying a little there, because that was a moment where I got to meet someone I listen to every morning. And I don't know if you remember the thrill of meeting someone as a listener as opposed to a radio person, but obviously I just swallowed up that short amount of time I had with Ross and took a chance to tell him how much he means to Melbourne and how much he means to me as a listener. So apologies if it wasn't very radio of me, or radio podcast of me, I should say, just to have a conversation with him and record it. But hey, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and this podcast gives me a great opportunity to do that. However, I had a chat to Liam, and I said, Liam, listen to part 1 and part 2 of Ross, and then what you and I should do, Liam, is we should get together on Monday's episode and talk about 3 takeaways. So if he is Australia's most successful breakfast radio presenter of all time, which he is, then surely there's some things we can learn. So on Monday's episode of the Quarter Hour, Liam will have his list of 3, I'll have my list of 3, things that you can learn, whether you're doing breakfast radio or any other sort of radio or entertainment, and what you can bring to your show. All right, now I promised the joke with the punchline that you heard earlier. But look, it's not for everyone's ears. I realise that sometimes things one person finds funny, other people don't. So if you don't want to hear it, then you can just say goodbye now. If you do want to hear it, stay listening after the final jingle plays. And I've got a version of the joke that I found online. Now, it's told by an Irishman because it's an Irish joke. So please don't be offended. But if you want to have a listen, it's there at the end of the episode for you. A very funny joke, and one that I heard Ross absolutely wet himself out hearing on the air once. All right, but for now, dear listener, that's been the Quarter Hour. Hey, Liam's back tomorrow with another episode, and I'll catch you Monday. Bye.
But this American guy came over to Ireland anyway, and we had to head for Killarney, and he was on his own, so he wanted to play golf, so he needed a partner to play with him. So he went to the local golf club and he said, would anyone here to play with me? He says, I'd be fairly handy now, so I want a fairly good... Oh, Michelin is your man, he says. We'll give you his phone number. So he contacted Michelin, and they arranged to meet the next morning. But Michelin said, no, he says, I'll be there at 9 o'clock, he says, but I could be a half an hour late. So Michelin anyway turned up in the morning, 9 o'clock, with a set of left-handed clubs. And he played around the golf with the American. And he beat him fairly convincingly, you know. So the American wasn't taking this too handy, you know. He said, will you play me again tomorrow? I will, he said. He says, I'll meet you at 9 o'clock, he says, but I could be a half an hour late. So I arrived the next morning, 9 o'clock, with a set of right-handed golf clubs. So the American said, I'll have him today. But Mickey Lee anyway played just as well with the right-handed and beat him again convincingly. So he says, I'll have to play you once more, he said. So, right, he says, I'm meeting in the morning at 9 o'clock, he says, but I could be half an hour late. Hold on a minute, said the American, he says. You come out yesterday morning, you play left-handed. And you come out this morning, you play right-handed. How do you decide which way you're going to play? Well, he said, when I wake up in the morning, he says, I looked at the wife. If she's lying on her left side, I bring the left-handed clubs. If she's lying on her right-hand side, I bring the right-handed clubs. And what happens if she's lying on her back? I'll be half an hour late.